No. Origami, oh so yummy. So don't you eat your origami, oh so yummy. That's the new song of the day. Wanted to show some crystals. Or maybe you want to know what these rings are. Guess that crystal. Now, if you can guess this crystal and be the first one in the comments to guess it, we may send you a crystal of our choosing at our designated time and place. Just because we would like to. Okay? Depends. Now, here's another one we did. Well, I did. I didn't make the crystal, Mother Earth did. Labradorite. Wrapped in spider web by yours truly. Next we have another labradorite. Okay. Here we have selenite. Here, I put this little arrangement together today. This one is, what you want to guess? Emerald, emerald, and ruby. Ruby. Put on your ruby slippers to freedom, won't you? All right. Now let's get serious because this is my birthstone. It's my birthstone. Do you know what it is? Do you know when I was born? I believe it's October. Opal. It's an opal. Oh, an opalite. Oh. And these here. Future jewelry. Beautiful. Mother Earth. Let's take a second out of hot day and give a shout out to Mother Earth. She even gave us a friend. She gave us buds and friends. Our buddies, yes. I'm excited. I'm excited because I believe in some good things coming. I'm still here after all this time. For those of you that have been with me, that means you've probably been on the receiving end, or maybe I have, of different communique, different actions and conduct leading up to this day, which have primarily been focused in the areas of human rights, human trafficking, the judicial system, the criminal justice system, which is getting better. It only had one way to go. There's been some scary cases this year, a couple of which I've been involved with, that could have been precedent changing as far as judicial review goes and the separation of powers doctrine. I'm not going to mention the case right now, but let's just say that the man that suffered there was totally innocent, acquitted of murder. And he was on the news too, he was acquitted. And the two probation officers that lied on the stand about the murder, which he absolutely was at work, if I remember correctly. Just don't quote me on the facts. Shit, it doesn't matter. He was acquitted of murder, and they wouldn't let him out of jail because they said they found him responsible for the death. And I don't know how you find him responsible for the death if the two probation officers, number one, it's, jury acquitted him. He's supposed to go home. You can't violate him on probation for an underlying crime, by the way, that didn't exist either. So, I don't know even when that'll come out, but I admire him. I admire people who can just stand in their strength and tell the truth. It's been quite an experience, and it just keeps getting better. With special legal consulting, I really don't see many, if any, legal situations involving whether or not a public entity or a person is operating within their constitutional parameters, or whether they've decided to commit crimes under color of state. It's important to pay attention to what's going on to those in the judicial system. I think it's time that we quit putting so many people in prison. You know, are we really that out of control that we have to jail everybody? I don't think so. And let me just say that it's touched everybody's life in a negative way, I think. Some positive, but usually that's just to correct some wrong or maintain something. But there have been some things that have gone on in the past that can't be allowed to go on anymore. Enough of the blatant disregard for constitutional rights, for freedom. You know, a right is not a law. It is the vegan foundation upon which all laws are measured, both federal and state. It's a right. It's inherent. It's part of us. You can't take a right as disclosed. And if you attempt to, then you've committed what they call a crime. It doesn't matter what your badge says. It doesn't matter where you went to school. It doesn't matter if you happen to be a judge, a prosecutor, a police officer, a lawyer, a defense attorney, a prosecuting attorney, a civil rights attorney. We're all people, and that's really where the power comes from, is from the people, we the people. I really liked the change that I saw with the coalition, and they've adopted, the coalition of we the people for the resurgence of the Constitution. So I received a mailing, and I don't know if any of you have, but you know, they apparently have grown a lot, and the coalition is serious about ensuring whether it's an oversight friendly to the government group of officers of the court, people. I like that they call it we the people. It's not just for attorneys, it's not just for judges, it's for we the people. You know, I really appreciate too those of you in the government that are, or like me, have been, or are, or quasi are, have been loyal to your oath of office in as much as you knew how, or were able within the confines, or there's restraints that were put on you. When I first started doing what I do, and I'm not going to explain all that right now, this is basically raw footage that we're going to be using for a show they're producing, the length and scope of which hasn't yet been determined. We're being careful not to put anyone in a corner right now. You know, and I'm not in a corner anymore, and I'm not up against the wall. I am free. I'm a free man. Remember that. And anyone that comes against that is going to come against a will, a power, a determination, experience, knowledge, an indomitable spirit, and a love for freedom that you can't stop. So back off. let's not revisit that subject. Under equal protection, we know that the perpetrators of crime and the victims of crime, for that matter, are entitled to the same sorts of protections. Whether or not the perpetrator of the crime was saying that they worked for the state, whether they say they're a prosecutor or a judge, for God's sake, I can't go rob a bank and then say, shit, I'm a prosecutor. Well, okay, here's a little bit of analogy. Say there's a fire, and then the fire happens to be an accident, and a man that's disabled likely was there, and the conditions were such that his actions were the trigger for the fire to start on accident. Just a little fire, burned a little bit of carpet, and then it kind of burned out. Everybody went outside, but one man picks up a fire extinguisher, and this is all recording, mind you. Picks up a fire extinguisher and puts the damn thing out. And then he helps other people get out because he was in search and rescue. And then he, walking his little dog around and calls 911, talks to them, checks for flames. Either he had to fucking better give the fucking man an Academy Award, or else he's probably telling the truth, Anyway, so he goes out with the police and asks him if he can help him. Can I help you? Can I help you? He's pretty persistent about wanting to help, and you have to know him. Very intelligent person. He communicates different than we do, and he understands concepts different than a lot of people, but he's very creative, and I love his new perspective. So, Ron Macon, you are awesome, and I love you, and I'm grateful that I had the honor to be involved with your case. And thank you for your permission to share the things that I did today. These are true. All I ever asked for before I became received the compliment of being suspended, I guess, for trying to tell the truth and do my best, basically is what it comes down to. I'm sure that error, some of the people that were involved weren't aware that it was an error, so I'll graciously accept. If you want to make me an active member, I'm going to continue to consult the way that I do within the law and within my ability, and without your supervision, without your permission, honestly, because I have the right to act as a free man and to benefit others with my opinions about life. Anyway, back to Ron Macon. So Ron Macon then was charged with starting a fire. All I've ever asked for was a video camera of unredacted video camera footage of the apartment complex, because part of it shows the individual who was visiting that had I don't know if they're called crutches, arm braces, probably for disability in the lower extremities, but I have never seen a man move that fast on two arms. Holy shit. It was like he lit a fire under him, and he was just, he was out there. When he got out there, it shows him coughing, and, they had to take him to the hospital. He had burns on his hands, reminiscent of someone trying to put it out. The fire, the so-called fire, was more than a couple inches tall. It's on TV, KSL, if you want to look at the fire. But I don't know that they actually really thoroughly looked into this before they charged this, but it needs to be dropped. Ron Macon's got cancer, he's got a heart condition, okay? Well, my God, how many times this year have I been with him to the hospital to get his lungs drained? You're stressing him out, Under the definitions of manslaughter, what's the difference? Do you know somebody's going to get sick because you prolong something that's not true? You know? Is that okay? What do you think? What do the people think? Because things aren't going to be hidden from them anymore. You know, what I'm grateful is that we have the kind of people that care. We also have someone, or more than one, person or persons in every organization throughout this whole country, and it extends out. People who love, honor, and obey the law, who sustain and love to exercise their freedoms and their rights that are inherent, that are natural, under the plain and ordinary and simple understanding of right and wrong, or not infringing upon other people's rights, having a voice, equal protection under the law, those sorts of things. No longer do you get to pick and choose which laws you get to violate and which you don't, even if you work for the state. The immunity laws and immunity principles need to be looked at. We all know it's time. When this country was founded, it was never founded with the intention that people would commit deliberate crimes with impunity, but they would go unprosecuted because they have sovereign immunity. No. If a crime incidentally occurred during the scope of the state officials' work, within the scope of their duty, then there should be some allowance so that they're not afraid to continue with their job for fear of being prosecuted because they're doing their job. You know, it just flipped all the fuck away around, didn't it? Boy, that got out of hand quick, didn't it? Well, you know, I think most attorneys, defense attorneys, are tired of going up there and this nonsense game of tic-tac-toes, what I used to call it, where you've got the person's name on the docket. You know, it takes a great deal of mental acuity to negotiate such a thing, let me tell you. Good God, it's like, you know, I have to go to school for this shit. I want to do something worthwhile. I mean, but well, it's AP, and just memorizing a fucking program doesn't make you smart either. For those of you that think that you can just, well, the rules say, but who the fuck cares? What's right in that situation is what matters. So, we need to weed out the corruptive influences with the least disturbance to the system in place. I want to thank my brothers. You know who you are. Thank you for the protection. Thank you for the support. Yeah, I just love those Green Berets. 100 men will test today, but only 3 with a Green Beret. All the operators, thank you. All the ones that work silently and inside the system, all the good police officers, thank you. Thank you for caring about people's constitutional rights, and I certainly care about yours too. I care about everybody's rights. I don't want to see anyone's rights be infringed upon. And I'd like to see justice be done in the murder of Brittany Cooper, who died in the cause of our effort. She's a hero. It's easy to show, and the world will know. That honorable woman's name is not to be smirched by cowards and thieves. I feel sorry for you, and I pray for the person that, or persons and people and things and whatever you want to call it. Everyone, everything responsible for her death. You didn't kill her. Her energy lives on. She's right there. You only made me more emboldened about going forward. And I wish the least amount of suffering to everyone. The degree of suffering and the anguish of soul that I went through isn't something I wish on my worst enemy, and I don't. And that's why when the investigation is concluded and when those responsible receive a fair and very, I want an impeccable procedure for them. I want to make sure every one of their rights is honored, that they're innocent until proven guilty. And I know what happened, and so do many others, so I'm waiting. And I believe in honoring, obeying, and sustaining the law. You don't get to write books about me that are fake. You're going to pay for that too financially, so you better get your checkbooks ready. It's all ready to go. We know all about it, and we prepared. There's really not any more I need to do, but just say thanks. I'll share some things. I want to make sure that our system is in place and honored. And I want to thank those that cared enough about us and our lives, and our lives do go on from here. Brit, the only thing that passes on is love. I heard her voice today. Timeless. I listened to her talk about legal theory on some tapes we had with some clients. I have thousands of hours of those. Her work just can't be denied. So I'm glad that I'm still here and have a chance to live life and have lived by her side. I'm grateful for the things that I have, and I do look forward to some partnerships in the future as they may arise. Either way, I just want to say thanks to everybody, all the new team members. I'm thankful for the protection. I'm thankful for the brotherhood. I'm thankful for the professionalism. And I want to say that my heart goes out to all those who still suffer, that reside here within our lands, will become a global community. And you don't even have to make threats of any kind. You just have to give a warning that I will release truth in appropriate content worldwide if needed. And it'll come so fast and so hard that it can't be stopped. So I expect that things will go fair from here on out. I don't need you to like me. That you can respect, you can fear me. I prefer you just respect me, and I respect you. Anyway, I'm glad that we have differences of opinion sometimes. It means we can have a point of view. You know, there's equal competing opposites in all things, as above, so below. But really, what is the law? What does the law become? I was listening back to a trial, if you can call it that, a recording I did, and a couple meetings leading up to that in my own life. I'm just amazed at the kind of stuff I have, all the evidence I've kept here. And I'll use whatever I need to make sure that my right's number one. Because if I'm not okay, then how am I to help others? You don't get to. You're not the one chasing me. And the more attention you put on me, the more attention, if you're breaking law, you put on yourselves. So back the fuck off. God, get a fucking life, really. And for those of you that are cool, roll with the punches, and, I'm really forgiving. I really am, but I'm not stupid. I might just sit and listen and let you believe a part for a while, but you can't stop the truth from coming out. We'll put that off for tonight. Done some comedy. I do a lot of things that people don't know that are fun. And we need to laugh a little more. I've done so much crying over the last few months. There's no need for all this posturing, but justice is to be done. Not blood, justice. Okay? Nobody's a rapist until they've gone through the court of law, so, stupid book you wrote. Professionals just couldn't believe that somebody would actually do that kind of liability. Anyway, make me an offer. Money can't bring her back. But I'll tell you what I can do. I can help other vulnerable women. And quit harassing me. So I'll start filing documents, and I've got the proof to back it up. And the support. And, if you got this far, and if you're one of those people that says that they hate me, why is it you hate me? You can look in my eyes and say, what is it? What have I done to you? And what really have you done to me? It's not forgivable. Don't take my kindness for weakness, but I just want to say that even to a person that calls me their enemy, I want to tell you I love you. And I hope you find peace and love, okay? I'm sorry things are that bad for you that you transfer and project onto me or to others, but you're a human being too. We all are, and I care about your rights too. I just want you to care about mine and to care about other people's. And that's what we fought for, me and Brittany. And I continue to, she does too, and the wonderful team members we have now that want to move forward. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Can't think of anything else.